Welcome to Excursions. We've got another great episode for you. We got our friend Tim Fuller, amazing vocalist in the house world. Also, of course, Kardano here.
Hi. What's up?
Yeah. So you know what? I like to start this by getting right into like the origin story of how you got into music. Like, what were the first things you remember that kind of made you think like, wow?
Well, I mean, I started playing piano at about 4 years old. We had a piano in the house. My dad was into classical and soul, R&B. So I would just, I was raised on all sorts of different music, but I remember, to be quite honest, the first songs or artists that really influenced me were Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder. When I first heard What's Going On, I remember my old man brought it back. I think we got it for Christmas. And they'd be family albums, right? So everybody would listen to them, right? And so, but that really sort of, kicked my imagination off. And then I started writing songs, I guess, when I was about 8 or 9. I wouldn't do my classical studies. I'd tinker around on the piano, and
Right.
just,
So you were that young, 8?
Yeah, 8 or 9, I think, I think I found a book of lyrics, really, really bad lyrics,
Yeah. I think, what's so funny? As I have a similar story, as I was taking piano lessons, and I remember starting a rap book. And it said rap book on it, and then I was writing horrible lyrics, and I told my mom I wanted to rap and I didn't want to do piano. She's like, you're going to regret quitting piano. And I always tell her that, like most things, she was absolutely right,
Bro, I'm telling you, man.
My rap career didn't last very long.
Listen, man, you know what I did, I started singing, I guess, in I played keyboards, and then 7th grade, my dad bought me a snare drum. He was too fucking cheap to buy a kit, so I got a snare drum, and then I remember my elementary school teacher, his name is Bob Crispin, and what's up, Bob? It really started it off for me because I would play. I brought the snare drum to school. We didn't have a drummer in our 7th grade band, so I brought the snare drum to school, and I used one of the bottom of the desk for the kick drum, and I used used the side of the chair for a hi-hat, and that's how I learned how to play drums.
I think all you need is a snare in those marching bands. So I mean, it's
you just
still.
don't, you know what I mean? So then I got into drums, and I played drums for a few years in junior high school, and then back to piano, and then I joined a choir and discovered girls like singers, and that was just about fucking it.
Yeah.
I thought that was the downfall of everyone, was
That's
discovering women being young.
That's right.
The double-edged sword.
Oopsie.
It really was. It really was. My parents weren't happy. They weren't happy. Let's just be honest.
So was there a early performance you saw that kind of made you think that, hey, I think I can do this,
Well, I don't think it was performance that actually made me think that I could do it. I think one of my earliest memories, though, was watching Stevie Wonder. Actually, not watching him. I fell asleep. I think I was 7 or 8 years old, and he came to Edmonton, where we were living at the time, and he was 2 hours late. And back then, everybody was smoking pot, and in the arena. So I passed out pretty much, and I woke up to Superstition.
Oh man, what a memory!
That's pretty cool.
You know what I mean? So, when I got into vocal jazz in high school, and I met some vocal jazz singers, and saw some really good artists. Like, I think Bobby McFerrin influenced me a lot. He was a big influence on me. And my songwriting partner, Cam Grant, Rip, just passed away last year. He was a big influence on me. And so, got out of high school and joined an a cappella group called the Meloids, and had a 9-year career doing that first. And that's where I learned harmony.
So the Meloids, did I get that right? The
Yeah,
Meloids?
the Meloids, yeah.
Was that like your first paying gig?
First paying gig,
Yeah.
paying gig was right out of
high school.
Yeah, well, I did a year at VCC, King Edward Campus. They recruited me from there, and and then at the end of that summer, I guess I can't remember, 87 or something like that, 86. We did Expo 86 for that summer. And so, and that was just, everything exploded. I mean, I saw so many bands at the 86th Street and, I saw everybody. So
what was it like being a funk band in the 80s years, considering I was knowing the history of Van and the record labels, that it was a predominantly rock band city.
Yeah, it
but
really was.
What was it like basically being an outcast?
Yeah,
in that way.
Well, what's interesting is that I would pop in. Once I turned 19, I'd pop into some of the places where cover bands are playing, and what they had done at the time is a lot of black bands had immigrated into Vancouver to play some of the clubs, like Richards on Richards and Frank's Place and Club Soda. And so that's how I first got my first look. Henry Brown he had a Henry Brown HB concept. He was really big in this city, and so there was a lot of transplants. But you're absolutely correct. It was still a small circle, but it was really quite popular. Richards was always packed.
So I just got another question. I know Richards on Richards, the club, existed.
Yeah.
Then you had the Penthouse, which the Filipponis owned or whatever.
Filipponis owned, yeah.
So did a lot of the musicians hang out in that area? Because I heard it's like it was a Frank Sinatra hanging out at one point,
Yes.
and also Hendrix's was it someone from his family?
Pearl Bailey, yeah, Pearl Brown.
Yeah, so like were any of those hangouts for those musicians a lot of the time?
Well, yeah. Well, what's interesting is that upstairs, I mean, I've been playing the Tyrant quite often lately. But Tyrant was extremely popular. Nat King Cole played there. The Nat King Trio played there. Yeah, a lot of famous jazz cats.
Is that like the separate room at the
Yes,
Penthouse, like
absolutely.
upstairs?
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's called the Tyrant?
It's called
This
the
is
Tyrant. Yeah,
deep
it's called the
for
Tyrant
Tyrant.
now. Yeah, it's called the Tyrant. But the Penthouse itself, yeah, man. I mean, back when strip clubs were big. I mean, it started out. I think it was when it first started out. It wasn't quite like hardcore strip, like it ended up being in the 80s. But yeah, strip clubs, the No 5 was big, and the Drake, and you know what I mean. So yeah, a lot of cats used to hang out there all the time.
Motley Crue sung about the Marble Arch,
Of course.
in Girls, right? So
The
that was
dirty
always the
arch.
claim. I
didn't know
I
that.
covered for a friend DJing there a couple nights, and it's like, you have to play Girls. It's part of the rule.
Or the Cecil, yeah, the Cecil was big.
Cecil was good, yeah.
Not that I ever went there, but
No, allegedly. Allegedly.
So
yeah.
Originally you're from Minnesota? Yes?
I was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota,
sorry.
and I was adopted at 4 weeks old. And my family moved to New York. Then we moved to Edmonton, then to Seattle, then to Cranbrook, BC, and then to Abbotsford, where I graduated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
I was going to ask him like a little any Prince questions, but I guess you didn't stay there that long to even suck in that type of.
No, but subsequently over the years, I ran into Prince a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So which was pretty crazy. I mean,
Tell us that story.
well, he was doing a show. I can't even remember when in the '90s, something in the late '90s. Came into town to do a show, and it was always a rumor whether or not he would do after parties.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the '90s is when he was in his religious phase,
Right.
and I met him at Richards on Richards, and we had a short but intense talk about the Bible.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think
At
it was-
Richards on Richards.
I think it
which
was
is,
Jehovah's Witness.
yeah, I think that's the story.
Makes sense, yeah.
Right. And then years later, he did another show, and he came to Bar None, where I had a residency with a band called Soulstream for many years. And so he came after the show. He didn't sing. His background singers sang. Did I think an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was packed in there, and he just played bass, turned it with his back to the crowd like Miles
Wow.
Davis.
Oh, the old back to the crowd thing.
Dude,
yeah, I
yeah.
heard that.
Yeah.
Or he'd do that,
Yeah.
or he'd play for like 3 or 4 hours, but all the lights had to be off.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
No one's got to know that I'm here.
Right. So he'd snuck on, and he's an amazing bass player, amazing everything.
course.
Yeah,
Right?
he could.
But the big thing was Bernie Worrell playing keys. Right.
Yeah.
Watching him play keys, I was not just seeing. You met a lot of people down at Barnett. A lot of celebrities would roll through over the years. You know what I mean?
There was a few, because I only DJ'd there a few times, but I remember I can't remember her name. Oh, she might be the mom from Modern Family too. Was she in Happy Gilmore too?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, I don't
She came
remember.
in. I still remember she was asking for Ludacris.
Oh,
And my apologies, I can't remember her name, but
yeah.
I think I know what you were talking about. I
Yeah.
can't remember her name
Yeah,
either.
yeah, no. Wesley Snipes came through a lot. We had
That makes sense.
Yeah, Elton John came down with his full band one night and just sat in the corner, and it was interesting. We played there for many years on a Monday and Tuesday night, and that was good. It was good.
And now there's stupid apartments there.
Yeah.
I remember rapping at Bar None once, and it must have been because you guys were playing.
Well, I was sorry,
Because
I
I
thought
don't
you
know
were talking
how
about
else they
Richards
would have let me on
Richards.
stage to do that.
Honestly, yeah.
But
Bar
you're
None.
always so open-minded about jamming. You're probably like, come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
no,
Bar None in Yaletown.
Yeah.
Bar None in Yaletown.
Ah,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a big spot there. Ice Cube came down there, and a lot of actors and would roll through. Ryan Reynolds. That's where I met Ryan.
Yeah.
Came through, and so it was cool. You know what I mean? This town is interesting.
Oh, yes.
I think probably because it's kind of so chill. And kind of not, like kind of uptight in a way, so people, celebrities are able to slide in and out because nobody really fucking cares.
No one cares.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
There is that paradox there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always found it quite interesting here because there is a lot of talent here, but there's something that tells me that the world doesn't take us quite serious yet.
no doubt.
In the world, because it's like if you. I know we're talking about music in general, but just in the house music round, it's like
Right.
if you think of Toronto, you'll think of Deadmau5. If
Right.
you think of here,
Right.
you
Oh,
might
there's a
think
lot of talented people out of Toronto.
Yeah.
Hatiras,
Yeah.
Flipside, and yeah.
And I don't want to be saying any, but it's like I think of Felix Cartel or something here, but
Right. Well, you think of
sorry.
Mark Farina. You think of Mark Farina,
yeah,
right? I mean, he's probably the biggest export out of here.
And Mark Farina, isn't he San Francisco?
Well, he's lived in San Francisco. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's from. I didn't.
Yeah.
He's
What?
from here?
Really?
Yeah. I think he's from here.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Better hit the computer. But he was here all the time.
Might have to check that. I did see him last time he played in town.
Did
He
he?
played
Yeah,
at-
he's
played
here.
at the Pearl.
He's coming again. Yeah. Or maybe he's just here so many times.
I think you know what it is,
Yeah.
and I've noticed. I think just that artists tour around a lot, and maybe they're younger, and they realize the cities that they get love from, and they can sell tickets.
That's
and
true.
They just keep doubling down. I mean,
That's true. That's true.
I think a lot of it's business.
That's true. Yeah, you better cut that out because fucking Mark's gonna see it and go, Fuller. You don't know where I'm fucking from, Fuller.
That's okay.
I think he'll forgive you.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's done a few remixes for me over the years.
So you have worked with Mark.
I have never done it. He's always done remixes for me for some of the stuff that I've done. Yeah, he's such a true talent, really enjoy his stuff. The main fellow that I work with here, well, I've worked with a few, but Sean Dimitri has been a 20 some odd year partner.
I have a couple of vinyls.
Do you really?
Down there of some of his stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think some of them might have you on them. I think
Could be.
But I know that there's some down there. I really got to look.
I dig it, man.
Likely, if they're Sean Dimitri records, they probably would. I mean, I don't know how he mastered some stuff for me on my first hip hop album.
Did he really?
So that's how I met him.
Right.
And I think I met him through I can't remember who it was, and then I realized you guys collaborated together a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then you worked with him in film, you said.
I work with him in film, and the past couple of months he's been bothering me. Hey man, I got like a Neve Summing mixer now.
He does,
he's like, dude, he's like, bring some stems down and just come hang out. And I'm like, it's like doesn't want to charge or anything, just wants to fucking jam with the shit.
The studio's sick.
It's very
He's
nice.
still in. I think the last time I remember he was in Burnaby.
Now he lives. Along. I'm gonna give your address right out, Sean. Yeah. No, just off Granville, but his studio is just off Arbutus.
That's what I meant to ask. Where the studio is at?
Yeah, just off Arbutus.
Okay, cool.
But you know what? I started with him in 2002. And I met him through DJ Ali. And rest in peace, DJ, and Alvaro Pro.
That's Blueprint.
Blueprint, right?
Blueprint owner,
Yeah, because they lived in the same building. Alvaro lived in the same building as me, so. One day he came up to me. I think it was 2001 or 2002. He said, "You should work with this guy Ali," and so that's how I started in house. I started with DJ Ali.
Oh wow,
interesting.
Yeah.
I was listening to one of your songs that you did with him on the way over here today. I can't remember the name of it.
So you don't know? You don't know?
Yeah, I think that was it. There was one I wanted to talk to you about, the track you did with Miguel Miggs. Come Into My Life.
Come Into My Life, yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, see, I met Miggs because he heard a track that me and Sean had done called So Hot. And so that was 2007, I think. And so he brought me out to San Fran. I didn't even know who he was at the time. You know,
the track that Sean did, is it the one that you were on that Pete Tong played or something?
Yes.
Like that, and that basically kind of
and then it went with what was the label that picked it up? A bunch of dudes out of London picked it up and signed it. I mean, it's a funny story with that track. But I think we wrote that track in like 15 minutes. You know,
I love hearing that because honestly, people need to know that some of the best songs happen that way because they come out of nowhere. Like you're a vessel for this, you know what I mean? Like the source or the muse or whatever, and it writes itself almost. Like
You know what I find weird? It's the songs that I have no feelings for, don't care about, seem to do better.
Absolutely, it's always that way. It's always that way.
So maybe you're getting out of your own way. You know, you're not overthinking it.
Don't care about it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So now pretty much I'm trying not to give a shit about any song.
Well, it's just like
might be the formula.
You know what I mean?
They do say like it's like the recipe of creating is just create and do and not, I know it's a bad thing to say, but not care about the quality but still care about it. But as long as you're doing we're all musicians here, as long as you know the formula of that what you're doing and your combinations of notes, I think you can move on. Like whenever someone's asking me, what do you think of this song, and I go, well, I can't tell you that it's a hit record, but everything is fine. Like you're hit, there's nothing out of whack. I mean, someone else may like it more than me.
Absolutely,
because it's all subjective at the same time. I find with music,
absolutely.
I don't like certain records that someone else is gonna like, so it's like, you just don't know.
Well, you know what? It's funny because Michael Jackson said, "You just do what the music tells you to do, right? You follow it. You know what I mean? You got dreams dropping out of your head. You know what I mean? Nobody can explain it, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, for me, I just write songs just so I can get the ideas out of my head because I got other ones crowding in behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean? The toughest time I have is when I'm writing 2 songs at once, or I'm not done completing one song and the other idea comes through and bleeds into the original idea, right? And so sometimes you just gotta let shit go and just, you know, once it's done, stop messing with it and move on.
Right? I think the keeping it moving is a theme I see a lot, and I can attest to, is that you got to finish stuff, you got to get it out of you got to put it out there and just forget about it and keep it moving, because it also increases your odds. The more you're outputting, the more likelihood something maybe will catch and go and lead to something else, lead to other gigs, lead to, you know, whatever.
Absolutely. But in terms of Migs, you know, Migs is a songwriter and a producer, and you know, he was working with Lisa Shaw for a long time, and so it was quite a thing. Once I sort of dug into his catalog and then watched him produce, you know, watched him play and watched him produce. You know, he had a studio in San Fran, and I'd just come in there and we just bounce stuff, you know, and. You know, some producers, you know, they'll let you run, like Andy Cato. He'll let you run and just guide you, you know, to where he thinks you should go. You know, Migs, you know, he actively has ideas, and so you have an idea. He has an idea. Which idea works best? You go with that one. You know what I mean? With collaboration, it's kind of like you can't have an ego. It's got to be the best idea wins. So. So with him, it was very easy, you know what I mean? But he also, you know, challenged me, you know. You know, as a singer. So
was it just you guys building a track from the ground up?
Yeah. So a lot of times he would have the track built or have the demo built, the track half built.
Yeah.
And then he would find out what I had. And we'd go in the studio, and I'd you know, do a bunch of tracks. And then a lot of times he would tighten the screws on his own track, right? So it would a lot of times it wouldn't sound like, you know, the original demo that I got, right? So
how did that, was it kind of interesting in that way when it always escalated to the next level? Did you guys move on, or was it more just like
Yeah, no, usually we kind of knew when the song was done, you know. For me anyway, you know, you do the lead, you do a scratch lead, do backgrounds, then you do then you redo the lead, then you do overdubs, right? So, you know, if you're just doing it by yourself, you know, that's the way my thought process works when it comes to the studio, right? So I don't know about you guys, but you know,
sounds similar. I mean, I'm mainly doing hip hop. I'm mainly doing rap. When I vocalize, I'm not singing, I'm rapping, but it's the same process, you know, like yeah, that's cool that you're saying about and what you said, circling back to about like the collaborating is so important. And there's a producer I work with, Ryan Stead, and he's talking about, like, he works with some heavyweights, and he's like, it's always better is better. You got to take your ego out of it, and you just think about the song as a whole. You know, whatever's better is better, whoever's idea it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, it's pretty much how I work as well. But I usually tend to pitch people a beat and kind of have everything arranged. I almost feel like I'm a bit of a pop house producer in a way, but I try not to like be that way, because like there's this, I don't know if it's a thing from being in the film business so much and being so over prepared, but usually like with a singer, I'll have like, these are the sections, just write a verse here and write this here, and then I tell the singer, and then I want you to do whatever you want, but I say like, these are the premises where we want to sit, and then it's more of a thing. I don't like, the other time it's like, I find because there's not enough time in the world, and I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I'm just like, okay, so I get them to send a scratch track, I go, cool, maybe a little couple of corrections, then we go in the studio, and it's just like, when we're in the studio, it feels more relaxed, I find, that we're just chilling out and we have conversation, and the singer just is comfortable, and they're not pulling anything out. It just feels like it's rehearsed, but at the same time, we do a bunch of takes and then we comp and all that other stuff, and then that's it.
Right.
Because they've already done a lot of the writing, right?
They've done a lot of the
Going in the
writing.
studio when the clock's ticking and you're trying to write there can be more pressure than
Yeah, and not that there's any of that here, obviously.
Yeah.
Feel pressure.
No. But I just want the environment that I have here to feel like it's a studio environment,
Right.
in the sense of like, okay, here's your tea. Do you need anything else?
Right.
Dim the lights down low or whatever, or full blast or whatever, and it's just the singer and the singer's down there and I'm here, and it's just back and forth, and
Right.
and that's it. I feel it's just very, you got everything you need. It's
Right.
just like having the script you get as an actor, really.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when me and Sean, when we first started working, and with DJ Ali, especially, you know, they would just, you know, the track would, you know, we'd write the track, and then I would just do whatever I wanted. You know, you know, back then it was, you know, it was more tech house, deep house stuff. So there wasn't a lot of vocals going on in that genre of house.
Yeah.
So I was just able to do whatever I wanted. If you listen to You Don't Know, you know, that last chord section is like, you know, is jazz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jazz over tech. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it, you know, because you don't hear it, and because just so happened to get it right and singing in tune that day, and just had a vibe, that's why it stuck. You know, same with So Hot or Go or
It's crazy that you're saying singing in tune that day.
right.
Because like that's not even a thing
Well,
anymore.
I know
really.
exactly, right?
Like that's
Yeah, exactly. You know, for me, it was because I did. You know, I used to do a lot of demos and a lot of commercials, and so when you're working with those type producers, you know, you have a certain amount of time. You know, time is money for those guys, so you got to sing. You know, auto-tune wasn't around,
Yep.
so you don't want to be doing. You know, you don't have time to be doing take after take. You gotta, you know, you have to come in warm. You gotta, you know, you have to know, you know what tuning is, right? And know, you know, whether you're sharp, whether you're flat, and then fucking fix it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So-
Go over that. Yeah, I guess you guys were, I guess it's half digital and half analog per se.
Yep.
I guess DAT and
DAT and exactly.
yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, so you really have to have your shit
Yeah,
together
they have your
versus
shit together. Yeah,
versus now you
Yeah.
can copy and paste or
yeah, exactly, right. And
You
so,
know,
you know, so for me, it was, you know, I cut my teeth on a lot of different things, but coming out of acapella, you know, we have to sing in tune. You know, it's part of the gig. That gave me a bit of an advantage when it came to being in the studio, and you know, doubling and tripling yourself and stuff like that. Nowadays, you know, it's not really a thing, but you know, but back then, you know, back in the early 2000s, just being, especially in house, being free to do what you wanted in that genre, you know, was freeing to me. You know what I mean?
kind of just reminds me how it's birthed in the way that it's just you're free to do what you want on the dance floor.
Yeah, you're just not, you know what I mean? And if it hits, it hits. Like if it's good, it's good. You know, a lot of shit I did was first takes. You know, you
They're
don't know.
almost always the best. Hey?
Well, you don't know.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
true.
know. I walked in the studio, right? It was just wild, right? Just me and Ali, and so I did my scratch track, and I happened to have ideas for you know, for background sections, and all I was trying to do, because I just met Ali, was just try to impress him. So I was going, listen to this shit, right? Baby, don't I want, right? And just kept building the chord, right? And then, but I hadn't done the verse per se, right? I'd call it Timlish, right? Where whatever melody comes out, whatever kind of mumble words come out, then I'd take it home and I would dissect it and go, okay, what fits with this? What fits with this? Well, by the time I got back to the studio, the song was already sold.
Already sold.
It was sold. He played it for this one guy and he goes, I'll buy it, right?
Wow.
And that was it.
So you were doing songs with him, and then they were getting sold or
They were
whatever.
getting sold right away.
Which song was that?
It was You Don't Know.
That was You Don't Know.
And that song for me has been the most remixed song ever.
You Don't Know,
any song that I've done. Like Honey Dijon remixed it. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's an anomaly. You know?
Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because you just don't know. You
You
don't know
just
what's
don't
going to
know.
work. You don't know what's going to pop and what's not, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Like, did you think when you were writing that this is going to pop? Probably not.
No,
Yeah,
that was just like, you know, I'm just flexing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, you know, it was just, it was pretty crazy. So, in a couple of songs that me and Sean have done, you know, first takes, yeah, he'll tell you, you know, first takes were big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, or at least you get the vibe of a track, you know, on the first take, because that's your purest idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It drops, and if you're slick enough or quick enough to get it before it disappears, then usually that's the best idea. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
strike while the iron's hot, man.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, cool.
So what was it like knowing about Pete Tong playing that track, or when how did you find out about it? Or
Well, it's just tripping. Well, I saw it on the chart, BBC One, right? And I would listen to Pete Tong all the time. You know, he's one of the reasons, you know, that I enjoyed house. You know, I discovered house in 1988, right? I think it was Inner City, right?
Oh,
and
yeah,
right,
it's a classic.
right? You know, big fun. You know, and then Groove Armada, you know, after that, a few years later when I came back to Europe. But Pete Tong was, I mean, shit, where did I see him? I saw him in London at, what's it called? It's in Wembley, near Wembley. It was that big, huge...
Fabric?
No, it wasn't Fabric.
Ministry of Sound?
Not Ministry of Sound. It's big. It was like 4 floors. Anyway, saw him there, and it'll come to me. But I saw him there, and you know, of course, it was just over the moon, and so yeah, it was a thing to come full circle and have him play it. I mean, I sent him an email, and
No, of course,
he didn't reply. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Yeah.
You know, but what even crazier was working with Groove Armada years after them being, you know, one of the groups that literally got me into house music.
Was this before Super Stylin' or after?
No, it was it was Super Stylin', that track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what got you into
It got me into
Jesus.
it. Yeah. So, you know, they called me up, and Andy Cato liked You Don't Know. So he flew me out to New York, and we worked, and you know, not much ended up. I mean, he's so tough, right? But I got a little bit on Schoolboy Rock, Soundboy Rock.
Oh, nice.
But you know, just a little snippet.
What do you like tough to work, like, in the sense delivering, like you in the studio, like?
Yeah, just I mean, I did demos and demos and demos. He goes, yeah, that's pretty good, you know. And then he goes, you know, maybe we should you know, bring you out here, you know. And that was 2 days of working, you know. I think I worked on 3 songs, and out of those 3 songs, a small snippet made it onto the record.
Wow. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
He's tough. Yeah.
Which is fine. You know what I mean? Absolutely fine, because it taught me a lot. It taught me. I watched him like a hawk, because this is one of my heroes, right? So I watched how he layered vocals. You know what I mean? I watched how he, you know, I listened to everything he said, and so you know, I carried a lot of that with me. You know,
you always learn. That's like we talked about last week. Is like we were talking in the DJ sense, DJing with other DJs. I always learned a little some. Oh, he does it that way, or he mixes out of that song. But producers even more, like, and songwriters, like.
I mean, the guy plays 7 instruments, right?
Yeah.
So he's just, you know what I mean? Like, just watch him, and he has total command, you know, of the studio. Knows exactly what he wants to hear, and you know, so. You know, that was a big moment for me, just in terms of, like, holy crap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the guy that got me into it, you know what I mean? And you know, all these years later, you know, here I am working with him. So that was pretty cool, you know. But yeah, Miggs is a good buddy of mine. He's taught me a lot.
You're lucky there. People don't realize, like, in the early 2000s, like, Miguel Miggs was, like, as far as house music goes, like, deep, sexy house was the thing, and Miguel Miggs was the guy.
Yeah, he's opened a lot of doors, and I've worked with a lot of different producers over the years, like Ian Pooley, Derek Carter, one of these cats.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just some of it from Miggs, and some of it from Sean and Ali and Nav Binder, right? So, I mean, it's been a ride. It's not something that I saw coming, because really, I'm an R&B soul guy. You know what I mean? That's the music that I love. But I'm a fucking house head.
Well, I mean, I was looking through your, like, I don't even know if I wanted to count before I got in here, but I ran out of time. But like, you're very prolific. I mean, you've got a lot of stuff out there.
Right.
Like,
right.
It's incredible.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been blessed, and still, once in a while, I'll get a call, and got some tracks on the go, and so I feel blessed that people still call, and then I can still write stuff. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I still love music, and I still love creating, and I'll just keep doing it until they tell me to stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Dave calls, goes, Tim. Tim.
As far as like now and then, how did you enjoy a lot of the process of just back then, or per se now? Because like I would say there's a lot of positives back then and positives here, both gauging, but in the sense of like, I feel like now someone's gonna call you,
right? You're
not particularly going to their city per se,
right?
Versus
you don't have to like you used to have to.
Right.
So, is there any comparables? Do you kind of wish things are kind of still the same, or do you like what's going on now, or like what's
that's a good question.
What's the take on?
That's a good question. I you know what, music's changed a lot, and it will continue to change. I think it's back then, 90s, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, it was it seemed to me that the collaborations were a lot more intimate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can just, you shoot a guy at MP3. He's got a little studio. He'll shoot you something back. You may or may not like it, or you chop it up.
Mm-hmm.
What I had to get used to was sending stuff, working hours on something, and sending stuff out to producers and getting it back, having it not be anything close to what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And having to be okay with it, right? Because it's like, because that's collaboration, right? So so now I don't have now I don't have a thought about it, right? And so I just call it the kitchen sink. I throw in all my ideas, and I don't even and I see which ideas that particular producer picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a Venn diagram. You got all these ideas, and then he like, I like these ideas.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
What I'm gonna use.
Yeah, like with Ian Pooley, it was a mix called "Show Me Right" that me and Ali had done. It got remixed by a group out of Belgium called Spirit Catchers. The Spirit Catchers did the remix. Ian Pooley heard that remix and liked the instrumentation on it, stole part of their track, right, and created a whole new track for me.
Wow.
So, and that song ended up being what I got. And so Derek Carter heard that track and remixed it for Ian Pooley. So during that, you know what I mean? There was it was just,
Yeah.
you know,
It's just
it's just
It's
crazy.
quite the process.
It's crazy, right? So
that
nowadays,
just sounds like a nightmare of chasing your royalties and all
well,
that
it's
stuff.
just, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whatever,
Yeah,
man.
right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't even think about that stuff anymore because really at the time I didn't have the wherewithal to even track it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't in the right mind, you know. But it's just the fact that I can look back and I can look at my catalog and there's some legends on it. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
Which is, for me, it's an absolute blessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolute blessing. Because I'm big fans of all these guys. Like I
Yeah.
love Derek. You know what I mean?
Of course.
He's
yeah.
just
I
such
mean,
a wicked human being. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And such an incredible musician. And same with Ian Pooley. You know what I mean? I love seeing the fact that I was watching Ian Pooley online. He's back at it again, and so and he's
What's that one track I used to run out? Oh, Balmain or something? Wasn't that one he did with Esero?
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he Canadian as well? Ian
No,
Pooley? He's
no. He's from Germany.
German. Okay,
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured I'd ask that question because
Right.
I find it like I'm one of those folks that just I like working with the singer in the same environment
Right.
rather than like, hey, send me this and like this is great. Like I just feel it doesn't turn the way you want things. Like I ended up working with a singer who worked with Paul Oakenfold, something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but he sent me stuff, and I thought it was gonna, cause like I kind of just said like this is the verse and blah 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 blah, and wrote everything and did harmonies and all this stuff, and I was like, wow. Most people when I kind of give them that don't really send all that stuff, but it's like everything was there. I was just like Jesus, and then all I had to do was just add one little vocal cut, and the song was completed and stuff,
Yeah.
and then.
Oakenfold rules.
Yeah, but I always find just working with the singer in the same room gives it a more authentic
Yeah, I
feel
think so, yeah.
rather than, hey buddy, let me
Yeah, I know.
this is what it is, and
Yeah.
just record yourself. Like it's I'm sorry to say, but I think it's kind of stupid to make the singer be the engineer at the same time,
Right.
because there's technical abilities about it, setting the preamp and this and that.
It's
and
difficult. I got gear at home,
it's
and
stupid.
it's
not
really the
ideal.
same.
I think it's absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Like the time we are now, and I don't want to be whining, but it's absolutely stupid that it's good and bad because everything's in our hands to do everything. But like now you're your own promoter, you're your own engineer, blah blah blah. Like I'm even at the point where it's like I'm mixing and mastering stuff.
It's a lot, man.
Yeah, it's
I think if you have to do it by necessity, it's okay. But I think what the problem with a lot of people is ego. We're like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, so I'm just gonna do everything. It's like, well, you probably could have got someone really good at these other things, and overall it would be a better project. Things are going to be better.
Yeah.
So I think the ego can get in the way, but it is like nowadays we got to be it's like a renaissance man for creativity.
Yeah, no doubt.
Recording, content. Now I can edit videos pretty good. It's
Yeah,
like,
right
I didn't think
now.
that was happening.
Yeah, right. Dude, I know. I mean, what's hilarious is that got gear and trying to get a workflow going and got the mic here and press play and then be prepared to perform. You know what I mean? I get my buddy George to help me on the board once in a while. You know what I mean?
I always do.
Yeah.
I get way better results when someone else is just
Yeah.
hitting record for me and bouncing ideas off.
Yeah.
And
it's like it's good to have just that extra head in there because like you don't know if you're singing something you're not gonna catch everything that's sharp or flat what you're singing.
Yeah.
Or like even myself, it's just like it's hard to be your own critic at times and just drive forward, but
Yeah.
just learning not to think and just do it.
Yeah.
Like you were saying at the start of the interview, just go in and just do it. And
Yeah. Just get it done, man. Just
get it
what
done.
I mean, just get it out. Yeah. That's that is one of the main stumbling blocks that I seem to be having these days is the workflow. You know what I mean? And so I have to break it into, you know, certain sections. You know, I have to decide that, okay, today I'm writing this. You know, today I'm writing tracks. Okay, then tomorrow I'm gonna warm up, and it's just gonna be vocals, and I'm just gonna do vocals, and then the next time I'm back to producer hat, and I'm gonna edit this stuff, right?
Jesus.
And so it's like, you know what I mean, and it's just simply it's a matter of time. You know what I mean? For me, it's just a matter of time.
It is,
and money, but it's just a matter of, you know, it's just a matter of time, not losing the momentum of the idea. So but you know, don't have as much time as I used to. Used to be able to just to sit there for hours and do shit.
I don't even think people.
The older you get, the more you're acutely aware of the time.
Of time.
Yeah.
I don't even think people even understand how much the process it was to produce a record back then,
bro.
Because it's like, you know, you had your engineer, your assistant engineer, and your producer, and then you're bringing in. You would have like either on the floor play of the recording or something, going back to the drawing board, having a big drawing board in the studio, going, "This is we got to complete the drums this day, and then we gotta splice the tape or whatever."
Freaking storyboard,
and it was a stupid storyboard right at the fucking thing, and now people aren't even like that. It's like, I'm not trying to say, but it's like I'm not really from that world, but I understand that world. But it's like that like.
Oh, we got to change tape. Hold on, guys. You know?
I worked at Hipposonic, right, when they were going from tape to ADAT to digital. So it was like I got to see all that.
Yeah,
you know, like,
Mushroom Studios. That's where. That's the first place I recorded.
Believe it or not, this is from Mushroom Studio. This SPX 90.
Shut up! Is it really?
Yeah, this one right here. Yeah.
No way.
Well, that's legendary. The Incredible Bongo Band played. They did their record at Mushroom Studios, and that's like
crazy.
Had so much influence on hip hop.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? Yeah.
And then Loverboy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, there's a lot of legendary.
A lot of guys
recorded
there. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Well, you know, shoot, now we could, you know, you can just, you know, type in a prompt. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, here we go. I know we were gonna get to this.
You know what though?
You like that?
You know what's
that was excellent.
You know what though? It is sad though that like, the thing is, those people are technically producers if you think about it. I know, like, we can all kick and scream and fucking throw our fist in the air,
right?
But a goofball that's putting in a fucking text, and I'm only swearing because it's so stupid, and they haven't picked up an instrument once in their life, not even knowing the notes on a fucking guitar or keyboard, not even, you know, and type it in and say and call it a day and put it on the fucking internet.
But they're producers like if back in the day, I don't know, people might know this, the store Dog's Ear. It was like where you went to get your shirts.
Right.
With that, you know, you go there and put something on a shirt. I'm a fashion designer now. You know,
right.
It's the same idea. Yeah. Like you are, but you're not really. Right. There's levels to this.
But of course there's levels to it. But it's like it's just crazy because, like, you know, there's some producers out there that don't. I don't want to say that they have an idea of what they're doing, but like they just get it. Like, they don't play instruments or whatever, but they can go into the studio and say, "Hey band, let's put this section here and that section here," right? Like,
well, they have
it's a certain skill, right?
It is.
It's a skill set. It's a technical skill set. It's a musical skill set. You know, it's based upon arrangement. You know, I mean, it's you can tell, right? Because there's, at the end of the day, you know, music is a lot of things, but one of the things it is math, and so
that's how I do music.
You know
music
what I mean?
Is math. Yes.
Like, you know, honestly, and so. So it takes all of that out of it, right? That's why these things exist, because it's math, right? The algorithm is doing math in its head and spitting out frequencies. And so at the end of the day, you know, and that's great. You get a powerful computer and you go, get me an R&B song. Well, an R&B song is math. So, you know, it makes sense to the computer to spit out something that's been scraped, right, in a certain algorithmic way, right, in a certain genre, right, and have it, go, well, this is, from all the different variations and mathematical equations, this is what it is. You know what I mean? And so what you're finding, though, is because the prompts are so narrow, right, you hear, that's why everything fucking sounds the same, right? Because everybody's trying to hit the same, well, make me a pop, funk, R&B vocal,
It's gonna be the same sounding vocal
give me
too.
120, 109, 110, pop, house track, you know what I mean?
It only seems the people who really know who AI track, that you're listening to an AI track, are specifically people that are in the audio industry, because there's a grainial thing with a lot of these prompts, these AI tracks, and you can hear this weird grainial
artifact
that's there, right?
Yes.
Like I have a couple finished records that, like I was saying, that there was a sampled record, and then I'd have it recreate the sample record, but like the tracks that I'm recreating over it like a sampled record, but like you kind of hear this artifact, but it sounds the same way when you're sampling a record, because you're doing all this blockage of stuff. But like the other thing is, like, even TrackSource has the thing of detecting.
I did something about that the other day. Yeah,
but I don't. My thing is like, I don't think it knows exactly all of it, because the thing is, and I don't even want to say this because then all these idiots are gonna probably do it, but like, when you're dumping it into a DAW, I think the encoding's changing it, versus if someone's taking it from
directly
So don't put this up on a
oh, trust me,
on Instagram, because all these idiots are gonna.
They've already thought of it.
It's already done.
Yeah,
Dave.
dude. That's. Yeah. I mean, they've already.
Good fucking job, bud.
Yeah, way to wreck the music industry.
But like, I think it like that's how those platforms like TrackSource and all these other places that are saying they're AI things, that's how they're detecting it, is that when you're dumping it out of Suno right away, or any platform, it has that encoding in it, versus that it's gone through your DAW. It's just whatever Pro Tools. I don't know how. This is all computer science shit that I don't know. But
I don't know how accurate they are. Like, I think it's good that they're trying. I think it's important. They need to have transparency, like, at least be honest about it. But I think I was talking to someone online. Do you know I Know Karate? Do you know who that is?
I've heard.
He's a producer. I think
heard of that.
Jeff Daniels.
I know Crazy though.
Yeah. And but he was saying he was testing stuff, and a lot of times stuff he made completely himself, it was saying it was AI, and then vice versa. So he's like, I caught it sometimes, but it's far from perfect. But at least they're trying.
Right. Right. Well, my whole thing is, listen, right? Just, don't pass off something that you didn't come up with.
Yeah. That's just the fucking thing. Like, just, right? So basically what you're saying to me, and this is going to get me in fucking trouble, is that we have a whole genre of liars. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of it.
I don't care what you do. Just say that you didn't do it yourself. Just say that you made a prompt because it's a cool fucking program, and isn't it cool that you can think of a bunch of words, right? Mm-hmm. And this thing will interpret something that you didn't have in your mind. Right?
No. Yeah.
It didn't dump from your dreams, bud.
Yeah.
It came from somewhere else. And that's what that was circling back to the music thing and the creative thing, is that the creatives, they interpret their dreams. I don't know what else to call it, right?
Yeah.
But what you're saying is that something that comes out of this computer, right, out of this program, right, that you haven't thought of, right, is original. Right?
Yeah.
Now, just say Suno did it, right? And Suno gets all the money.
I don't have a problem.
I heard about somebody releasing a Suno track, and some guys just like, he just said it was his own, and then started like, got a band and then toured.
Well,
like, what are you gonna do, right? Like,
absolutely.
I don't have a problem admitting that I use it as a tool.
Yeah.
And
let's talk about. I want to talk about the tool in the sense that, because I've worked with rock guys that do country producers, hip hop, whatever. This seems to be the process that they've been doing for several years. Is they use Suno to generate ideas. and then they take those ideas and they riff off those ideas, and then they get musicians to replay them, and then so it's part of the process.
It's kind of what
but
I do somewhat,
but it's not like a big part of the process.
Well, here's the deal.
But it is generating ideas.
I get it. See, listen, it saves you from listening to 1,000 fucking records, right?
Yeah.
I get it, right? Because normally what you do is you smoke some weed and you go through your record collection or you go through your CDs and you go, fuck, I love that idea, right? Your brain would interpret it, and when you're playing, you go, oh, remember that idea, and you reference it, right? Now, I get it. It's a shortcut, right? I get it.
And
you know what I mean?
folks do it a lot and come up with records that way.
I mean, everybody's done it. I mean, guys sit at a concert, listen to a guy play a riff, right? You go, oh, that's a great riff, right? And going home, and I'm going to take that, I'm going to tweak it, right? Mm-hmm. I get all that, right? You know, I mean, listen, all the different, platforms for samples of this and that, it's just to help you break the deadlock, that sometimes you get, when it comes to creatives, right? Yeah. An idea only goes a certain way, right? Until you can't, either the dream is gone, you've forgotten the dream, or you can't interpret it. Right? Yeah. And so you're just trying to get a little nod. Mm. My call is just remember that's not the dream. That's not the dream.
Yeah, it didn't come from
It's
you.
not the dream.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you got to do, and it's been done in the past. Sometimes it's going to take you fucking 3 years to finish your track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, yeah.
Some of those songs. Yeah.
But people aren't willing to do it because in this day and age, it's instant gratification. I need to have that now. Right,
and there is a pressure to output a lot more. There's a pressure just to constantly be in the conversation,
right? You know what I mean?
They say if you want to if you were to restart again, you want to release stuff. You want to release a song every month for 2 years.
Right.
So,
well, that's kind of like what I've done. It's like, sure, it helps you get in algorithm, but it's like I'm chasing something that's getting annoying. Like this year, it's like I've slowed down and not really cared, and I've just concentrated more on the show because I see that's where the money's being made.
Well, yeah.
Ready?
It is.
Fair enough.
And I don't want to. I think most of us musicians, we don't care about being stinking rich. It's more that we care that we can make a living and sustain ourselves within what we're doing, not to go fucking be a billionaire and sure, that'd be nice, but like that's not my end all be all goal. It's just to sustain what I'm doing and that I can actually just relax and still do what I like doing.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you what, you worried if you ran it. If the biggest thing would not be the fact that you don't have money. It'd be the fact that you don't have fucking ideas. Right?
Oh, there's always ideas.
But this is what I'm saying. If you didn't have what you want more, do you want more? You want money? You want ideas? You want as a creative, you want ideas. Right?
Of course.
You'll be fucking broke, and you don't even care as long as the ideas are coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because look what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like it's so, just... so I get it. It doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter. It's as a creative, right? Your job. Your destiny is to create, right? So, in any way that you do that so that you can keep the wheels turning, right? You'll do it, right? And that's why money isn't particularly, a thing. That's the difference between being a creative and being an entertainer is that entertainers, they need that back. Right? They need that. They need that instant feedback,
compensation.
It's kind of shitty though because now, and I know we're getting out of it, but like the DJ thing has turned into that perspective where being a DJ really wasn't about like, hey, look, I'm here. Like now
I judge JT very heavily for this. So I just
no, but like it's I only DJ'd by mistake, and I'm just saying it's like it's just kind of crazy now because now you see the wrong people doing it in a way
for the wrong reasons
because it's like the DJ quite wasn't the entertainer. They were the conduit of the party to be like they can be in that fucking corner in a closed door and be like and they're in that some nerd, and they're going through their records and going, I think this would be cool. Let's put this on, right?
Exactly.
You know, it's like now it's just like people are fucking watching you and blah blah blah. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, setting the vibe, the
Well,
vibe setters.
and the producer DJ, in the sense that they don't necessarily know how to
vibe a room out.
vibe a room out for 2 or 3 hours because they're playing their songs that are known for that, and it's a different thing.
Right.
It's a different thing. That finding that combination of the person that can make those and then also knows how to vibe out a room.
Right.
Yeah, those are probably the guys that are killing it.
And that's why I don't say that I'm a real DJ, because like really I came from producing, and someone's like, hey, because this back end of us being creatives and sustaining making a living in music, I DJ to make the money to sustain that as well, right? And it's like I'm chasing that, which is fucking fucked up, because I'd rather just sit and produce rather than.
Of course.
I think we're at peak, DJs too, and that people are realizing there's a difference between someone who's done the work and knows how to vibe out a room and knows how to play a track compared to someone that has made a couple tracks and is maybe in it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it because they want to look good, and there's not the real passion there. Like, because I'd be doing this, I've had times where I was making no money, like,
of course
I did this because I really didn't feel I hated every other job.
Right.
And I was willing to stick it out because I just felt like it was me. I was always discovering music, ever since I had enough money to buy music. It was like every weekend I was at HMV or somewhere,
right, 100%.
buying a CD or a record, and then immediately I needed to listen to it, find the best songs, and find my friend to listen to it, to show them, right? So it was like,
and that's creative too. That's creative too. I mean, listen, you had to have guys as musicians, you had to have guys that recognized what you were trying to say, what you were trying to do, what vibe you were trying to set, right? And had to have guys that would play that and go, I get that. Listen, I'm gonna vibe this fucking room out with this track. You know what I mean? And so, honestly, and picking those tracks, knowing, looking at the room, going, these guys are a little square. Let me play that one. Or these guys look like they're ready to rock and roll. Let's jack them with that. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, even in the bands that I have these days, I kind of curate the set list like I'm gonna be DJing a room.
Sure,
of course. You know what I mean? And so that's and I respect good DJs that do it. I respect guys that are in bands and do it, even whether it's original or cover. You know what I mean? It's all about the experience, man. And so I respect people that do it really well. It's a little easier than it used to be. Now you get your stick, and you got your 1,000 tracks or whatever. You know what I mean? Used to be, you used to have to think at home. Okay, shit. How many records am I hauling tonight? Yeah.
No, it's different, because like even when I was playing like the party I had last week, I was playing back to back with my buddy, and he was hybriding in the sense that like we had just one. I wasn't playing records, but we'd have one turntable, and he'd put a record on. So it's like I had to mix in like these things fucking do all the work for you. So it's like I was like, oh, now I got to actually listen, right? So it was like I kept mixing out of his vinyl records, which was quite fun, right? But like,
try mixing vinyl on tracks that came out before clicks were ubiquitous.
Right.
Oh God,
that'll separate the
the men from the boys, man.
Well, I mean, he was playing dance music records, so like they had their cadence and stayed in time.
Of course.
But like I pulled up my record player last night or whatever. It was just here or whatever, and was mixing in some disco records and blending with house and just noticing that you were like turning the wheel every minute just to keep the record in time with the disco record, right? So
is the belt tight? Is the belt loose? You know what I mean? Just,
sometimes you gotta just do a hard drop and
No, I never got into DJing. I loved making mixtapes. I really did, and I probably coulda. But I think it was when the advent of DJs, really started to take over.
Hold on. like mixtapes, just in case there's anyone younger watching, it was in the sense when the song was on the radio and then you press record on it, right?
Those type of mixtapes, yes.
Okay, because if we're talking mixtapes and someone's watching, let's just say
Right,
rap,
that's
they'll
right.
think, oh, you mean like
Yeah.
50 Cent making a mixtape?
Oh my God! Or even you have the double cassette players. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I used to mix songs all the time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought that honestly, I'd rather be the guy, creating the music as opposed to playing it. Even though I mean, shit, I might learn how to DJ one of these days. I'm sure it's not, well,
I got a controller I can sell you.
do you really?
I do. No, seriously, I do. I have one. Yeah,
Really?
I'll show it
shit.
to you. It would work good if you wanted to give it a shot.
No shit.
Yep.
I
I think it's right up your alley,
Fucking
but I
guys,
mean, I
yeah.
don't know if I want you taking gigs from me.
Well, no, it's not gonna happen, man. Not gonna happen. Well, you know what? Honestly, guys, this has been pretty wicked, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Do you have any
yeah.
before we wrap things up? Do you have any what have you been? You say you get calls every once in a while. What's some of the last projects you're working on that we can keep our ears?
Okay,
open?
well, I mean, it's mostly band stuff. I've got Dreaded Soul, which is my R&B soul band, house band as well. It's got some original stuff that's coming out in the fall. I mean, it's some stuff that I've had that band for a long time, just never released anything on it. And then there's Comforture Musique, which is a 7-piece live house music band.
Love it.
We're playing down at the Night Shipyards on the 31st in North Van here, down on Sail Key, and we also got a couple
July.
This July 31st.
We should go.
I'd like to go.
It's
Yes.
gonna be
We should
pretty.
go.
They're dope, and the cats they're really really good. So so that'll be, and we got a couple of tracks that we just got finished coming out of the studio with. So we're just putting those things together. You just gotta, if you go to fullermusic.ca. Just it makes it makes me kind of slow. So fullermusic.ca, it's got my list of dates, and I update what's going on. I always have tracks, 1 or 2 tracks that I'm working on with DJs. Me and Sean Dimitri or hopefully got something coming out soon, and me and Meg, so we got something we're in the works. Yeah, it's been a while for that. And so the last thing that I worked on was there's Andy Clockwork,
Nice.
DJ
I was
Andy
gonna bring that
Clockwork.
up.
Yeah. I did a track with him a couple of years back, and I got another one in the pipeline with him.
Great.
And Matt Tolfrey, who just passed away a couple years ago, he's there's a bunch of remixes on that, and I'm hoping to work with his buddy Alex Arnaud to release another remix of that. So there's old stuff,
Yeah.
which I feel great about, what I
Yep.
mean? And my own house stuff, I'm gradually getting into that, doing my own house music. And
What are you using for your DAW?
you're Logic, just Logic.
I'm a Logic guy too.
Are you really?
Yes.
I'm sending you some fucking tracks.
Okay.
You got some work to fucking do. You got some work to do. You got some work to do. Don't fucking threaten me with a good time. Yeah.
Oh, incredible. Well, I think that's a good time to wrap it up, man.
Yeah,
This was
Thank you guys.
amazing,
Yeah,
man.
it was
course.
awesome, man. It was really
Great.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Very
fucking
good.
awesome.
All right.
It's awesome.
We'll
man.
have you back in a year and
Please.
see where you're at.
Yeah, you got it.